so many times that we leap to giving the answer that we forget about what. It's not about us, it's about them. What market are they looking at? Not what market do we want to tell them about.
Everyone signs up for coaching for accountability. Like, they don't actually sign up for the info. They want someone to hold them accountable to a plan. And that's another problem that we struggle with as agents. We stop doing it once it's successful because we get complacent.
I don't know who started the fact that, real estate's easy, anybody can do it. It's not easy. Not everybody can do it, but you can do it if you're willing to put the time, effort, energy.
Welcome to Signature Buzz, your fast-paced weekly real estate sales meeting.
All right, welcome back to the Signature Buzz. I'm excited for this episode, award-winning episode, as this is going to be a power hour of insight, laughs, and hard-hitting truths. Because I'm joined with none other than Keith Lynham, broker of the Green Valley office, self-proclaimed coolest office in Green Valley, and Chris Bishop, our general manager. And I think we're going to have Tom Blanchard join us too. There he is. He's coming in now. He is the broker of the Northwest office and master of it all, I guess. But we are going to be on the mics today, and this is going to be a real estate version of a heavyweight panel, and not just because we like to eat. I have created a list of podcast questions broken into segments to keep the flow engaging, dynamic, across market insight, sales training, legislative issues, and leadership. I've also sprinkled a few wild card questions to keep it fun and unpredictable. So welcome, guys.
Welcome.
Glad you could join us, Tom. A little late, but you made it. So,
I gotta wait for the damn Zoom invite.
Oh, yeah. Well, they twisted my arm to invite you. I tried not to, but we did it. We got you here. So, all right. So the first segment, let's talk about market mayhem or market momentum. So, and we'll just kind of rapid fire through these. Add something if you got something, or be quiet if you don't, Tom. What's the current state of the Las Vegas market, and what trends are you watching most closely right now? We'll start with you, Chris.
Yeah, so the big ticket item is inventory levels have shot up. We're up 78% year over year with available listings. So I think that has freaked everybody out because everything they had, there are very limited options for buyers. I actually read a stat on the market that 1 in 5 closings cancels. Which is kind of concerning. I mean, when you think about it, that's 20% of every deal that's put out there is going to cancel in some way. And why do they cancel? Because buyers have options and there's things out there they can do. I think another big problem is that, agents aren't selling the client on why they're buying this house in some cases. They're just writing this offer and it gets accepted and here we go. And so there is a process to that we all should be remembering what we used to have to do to go through these things. And so I think that I'm excited about the marketplace because when there's options, there's opportunities. And I think that a lot of agents are looking at it the wrong way. Oh my God, all this inventory. Oh my God, interest rates so high. Oh my God, deals are falling out. Well, if you're able to get past, oh my God, there's opportunity. And I think that if you're working on that, and I've seen all of you in different markets create opportunity, that's what a salesperson does. And I think that I'm not afraid of it. I'm just embracing that it's different and I understand why.
Yeah. So, Keith, what are you seeing? I mean, why do you think, first of all, in your office, are you seeing or hearing from the agents a lot of deals canceling?
Yeah, we are having like that goes industry wide or nationwide too. I think the cancellations are up. Yes, agents are concerned. They wondering why their listings aren't selling. I'm getting that question often, more than I have ever. What am I doing? What can I do? The correct answer is, though, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the market is. If you buy into what this is going to be a hard sell for your accountability calls and what you've shifted this company into a relationship business. As I joked with Chris the other day, we are not a sales organization. We're a relationship organization. And the reason I say, not glibly, but if I say it doesn't matter what the market is. It doesn't matter where the market's going. If you're building relationships and you're constantly connecting with your people, it doesn't matter where the market goes. because there's always going to be transactions. And so that's what we need to focus on. Stop worrying so much about what the market's doing and then find out exactly what market they're looking for. That's the key. You can't tell me that the market $450,000 is the same as $1.5 million. It isn't.
Right. Well, and that's a good point. Hold on one sec. That's a good point, Keith, because if you're building relationships and you're staying in flow with your people, there's life-changing events or events that happen that cause people to buy and sell real estate, and you're in tune with that. And that doesn't matter what the market is. Things happen all the time, and people have to buy and sell. So You're right. I can't believe I just said that.
Hey, best 4 words in a relationship when you're marketing is I'm getting a divorce. Ding, 3 transactions right there. Here we go.
That's great.
Speaking of divorces, Tom.
Where do you think I learned it from?
Just kidding. I'm kidding. Hey, Tom. But you've been in the REO market a lot, right? And you're seeing that a little bit picking up. Has the REO market always kind of had a lot of cancellations, or do they usually go through?
No, there depends on what kind of buyer we have, right? Because there are, for REOs, there's the investor buyer who's just sending out offers, right? And they haven't even seen it, right? So to stop that, we stop taking blind offers. If I don't see that they have seen the property or someone's walked it, we don't accept their offer anymore, right?
Yeah.
Because that was the biggest thing. They tie up the property and then cancel it. But other than that, no, people that are buying REOs, that are buying distressed properties, are well aware of the situation, the condition the property is going to be in, and they expect the worst, and they're offering that number, whatever it may be, based on the condition of the property that they expect it to be and can see or can't see.
Yeah, and so Chris, you mentioned that listing inventory is up. What'd you say, 70%?
78% year over year.
78. Yeah, but it's still behind pre-COVID numbers. What data or leading indicators do you trust most when forecasting market shifts?
Trust my gut.
That's your gut.
Real quick, before I go to that, I want to follow up on something Keith said, because I think it's really important. People always say we talk in generalities. I want to be really specific for a moment with what this market shift means. It means that when I go in to list a property, I don't tell my client that my marketing program is going to sell the house in 2 days. I don't go in and tell the client that we're going to put it in the MLS and take some photos and it's going to be over. I need to prep them for a 3 to 4 month period of time. The home's going to be up for viewings and we're going to go through a transition, and the price, even though it makes sense right now, the market may shift down in a month and we've got to lower your price. What I'm transitioning my clients to is that every week, you and I are going to meet and talk about what's happening in your neighborhood, because we are seeing differences in price point in neighborhoods around town where some things are not affected. Like, I have an agent in my office that just put one on the other day. They got an immediate 3 offers on the property and it's sold. And in the same area, we have an agent that's got a listing that's been on there for 3 months. And so I think that you now have to prep the client that there's a process in place. And that's why you're paying for my experience and my skill, that we're going to look at this on a regular basis, and we're going to progress based on your wants and desires and my interpretation of the market that I'm providing you. Now, the one thing when you said what stats to utilize, I go by the LBR provided stats from Applied Analysis, because they're unbelievably detailed, like as detailed as you want to get. And then you can back it up with MLS reports that you can run right in the MLS system to get as specific in their market area. But for me, that's consistent. Like, it comes out every single month. I know where it's at. I don't have to root around to get to it. And then to Keith's point, like, I've started utilizing ChatGPT and others to provide me with news articles that center around a specific issue. Like, I can put in, tell me about this company and their service that they provide. What should I know as a consumer? Like, I can find those things out and have trusted resources that are now provided because of AI.
Yeah, AI is playing a big part in what's going on right now. And I think if you're an agent out there and you haven't played it around with chat and its capabilities of what it can do for you just in marketing and different things like that. And I know you're using it for a lot of things, even finding out opportunities of other properties you can sell and how to make applications with banks and different things like that, right?
Yeah. So I think we talked about this, but it's interesting because many of us did REOs and went through that process, and you had to know somebody and you had to get in, and then you got that contract that was 35 pages, and then you had to get a line of credit, and like all the stuff that you had to do, like you didn't know what to do. You weren't prepared for it. I mean, Tom, you went and got the most approvals through that process of people that you weren't related to as you went through and found it. But like I went into ChatGPT the other day and I said, tell me every entity or organization that I should know about that will list properties with a real estate agent. I mean, it spit out like 90 different things. And then I said, okay, based on that list, tell me which ones are going to be the easiest for me to get into. Tell me what I need to put into my letter. Tell me what the process will be. And it started spitting stuff I couldn't believe. And all it did was go and research these things on the web and find it out. And then it sent me links. And then it said, do you want me to present a better letter? I wrote what I was going to write. And it says, well, this is how you should critique that and how you should. Now I could even go and have it be me. Like, as Chris, do a video about why they should pick me as the agent. I mean, that's how involved this has gotten. And it's incredible because it's only been a short period of time. I've now started to utilize that in different segments of my business. For one of my coaching clients, I printed out every real estate related site where agents can sign up for leads and which ones are paid and which ones are not. And I gave that to my agent, said, here, go sign up. And that's how easy it is.
Yeah, I like, I'm using it a lot. Like it helps pull up questions. It helps write trainings. It helps refine things. I'm using it on a daily basis, writing emails, responding to emails, all kinds of stuff. In fact, I'm actually on top of my emails now because I just subscribed. I think it's Fixer AI. And it takes all my emails that come in and it sorts them and it puts them in marketing and it puts them in need to respond and all stuff. So much so that it'll even start a draft of a response to the email. So it's like make me a lot of efficient. So it's a big deal. And I like when a market kind of shifts or slows down, it causes you to reevaluate what's working and not working and get better. And so this is a good time to be looking at those things like ChatGPT and looking for other ideas and stuff. But remember, it all still goes down to relationships. Keith, is this a buyer's market, a seller's market, or a confused market? And what does that mean for agents today?
Yeah, I don't know. What market
are you confused?
Talking about? Yeah. So it's got to be confused. Yeah. No, I always ask, what market are we talking about? If you're looking at $450,000 in the Northwest, that's one conversation. If you're looking for $800,000 in Southern Highlands, that's another conversation. And I think so many times that we leap to giving the answer that we forget about what. It's not about us. It's about them. What market are they looking at? Not what market do we want to tell them about? And so I start there. And then, and I even break down and I'm with you guys begrudgingly. I'm coming onto the ChatGPT. Yeah. See, I can't even say it.
I just call him Chat.
Can we edit this part out later though? Because I want to give thanks to Blanchard about getting me out and help me out through. It was on a Saturday usually. Yeah, unusual for him to be awake, but it was on a Saturday too. And I was like blown away. I was like, yeah, I mean, so you're right. We need to look at ways to improve ourselves but get back to how I look at it this way. How does it make it easier to get that relationship formed? How is this making it easier? And it is. But to ask your question, yeah, I mean, I want to find out what market they're looking at. And then I try to break it down. And I've always tried to break down the stats to those segments. I used to have the videos that, our median price was like 120,000 back then, but I added the median price, I added the step up price, and then I had the luxury. So I had them broken up by levels and your odds of selling and all that stuff. I think it's time we need to go back to that too. Because up, but what's up? I mean, are the listings in the $450,000 range up? I don't know the answer to that, but I don't think they are.
I like this though, how you say that, Keith, because I think agents have got to stop thinking they have the answer and stop jumping to try to solve every problem or perceived problem out there and start asking more questions to find out really it is. And then be educated enough on your market with the applied analysis stats like Chris was saying that you can answer questions and you can be there, but it ultimately comes down to what their needs and their wants are, not what you think they want, right? And so, Tom,
the best answer to that question I've ever heard, it depends on if you've hired me or not. I heard it said by somebody the other day on one of those social media podcasts, and I thought, That's an intriguing answer because it could be a seller's market. And I think we'd all probably agree if we look at across the board, it's probably pretty level. But like the agent you hire matters and their experience matters. That's what you're paying for. And so regardless of where it is, it depends on if you hire me or not. I love the answer. I thought it was great.
That is a great answer. So write that down. That's the only script I'll let you use. Hey, so Tom, what's your outlook for the fourth quarter and early 2026? Any curveballs we should be bracing for?
Yeah, there are, because I really do think the interest rates are going to go down and buyers are going to come out screaming, mad. I want to buy, I want to buy, I want to buy. And if you're not trying to stack some of your listings and get some listings in the inventory right now so that they're ready to go, you're gonna miss a great fourth quarter. So I predict the fourth quarter of this year is going to be phenomenal. Phenomenal. You heard it here first.
You know what I like about Tom in ChatGPT is because Tom always comes up with the most cheesiest response to anything, and his ChatGPT does the same. It's awesome.
Did they just become two good friends?
Are we just best friends? Okay, so let's change subjects a little bit. Let's talk about sales mastery and agent development. Keith, what do you think separates top producers from average agents in this market?
You know, it's those that do what they need to do, and I know that's been kind of the sounding board from the accountability calls to everything else. But it's doing it, and I've always taken look. It's not discipline. Discipline is what you are in the Army. That's discipline. When they tell you to keep your head down in the Army, there's a reason for it. Because our big noggins would have been shot off. But, keeping your head down when you yell, that's discipline. But it's a commitment to yourself. And I think the good agents know that, look, I need to do this for myself. This is what makes me better. This is what makes me more effective. And I need to be committed to myself. And so in order for that to happen, I need to, motivation goes out the window when you're committed to yourself. If I know when I wake up in the morning, these are the things I need to do to stay alive and stay healthy and stay productive, motivation and discipline and all that stuff goes out the window. I need to be sold on it. So I think the ones that really, truly are successful and getting it are the ones that, have gratitude, been seated. I'll give Conrad Brooks a shout out. He came in my office the other day. Everybody knows Conrad, and you could just see he was jazzed. He had a big listing that was getting ready to close, and he had a buyer that he said just flippantly, essentially, if he stays alive, we're going to get an offer out. And he comes in, and yesterday he got that. The guy must be alive because he got the offer, and so he was so upbeat, and that's what makes him successful. He doesn't get down and doesn't let it get down. So long answer, but I mean, it's so important to have all those things, gratitude and just doing what you need to do to commit to yourself.
So you think it's more mindset than anything?
Oh, I think it's 100%. Life is showing up.
Yeah.
Life is just showing up, and that's nice. I mean, Jack Nicklaus always used to say, 99% of golf is in your head. It's the little putt in between the 2 inches in between your ears. That's golf. And Jack Nicklaus was the best there ever was.
100% of golf is at the bar for me. Chris, what do you think separates top producers from average agents?
I read an article the other day that said, are you the employee of your business or its CEO? And I think that the difference between type producers and regular agents trying to succeed is CEOs are out envisioning growth and strategy and development, and they're being beholden to their stockholders that, or their family members that supported them. Most real estate agents are just employees. They're trying to show up to a job. They don't know what they're doing unless someone's there to direct them. And then that's why they get lost, because they're the boss. And so I think that what I see from each one of them, and I agree with Keith on the mindset, like I have people killing it, and then I have people lost, like they don't know where they're at. And the difference between the two of them is the people lost are like, oh my God, everything's going to put me out of business this year. And the people that are killing it, it's a great day to be in real estate. It's a great day to be here. This is the right day for you to buy a house, right day. Like their mindset is trajectory of it's going to happen. And we've seen that, like, we look at all the things that happen in our real estate industry and all the classes we've been through and all of the sales meetings we've taught. Mindset's behind 85% of them. And if you can't get out of your own way, you're just going to suffer. And so I think, they come in prepared and they're the CEOs of their business.
So mindset, show up. Tom, what would you add to that?
Calendar, time blocking. Yeah. I mean,
Some structure.
From my property updates to my bank updates to everything, it's in my calendar. You can look on my calendar and see how much BS I'm doing and how much real work I'm doing. So, it's all there and anybody can look at it. You have to be sort of accountable to yourself by having a plan and putting that plan into play with time blocking, and then do it every single day.
Yeah. I think it's the performance 6 and having standards, right? And so, Keith, how do you stay sharp as a leader? What's your go-to training or mindset ritual?
Jack Daniels.
God, no, I hate
Jameson.
Kidding me?
Jameson, yeah.
Honest, the Irish. Got to go to the Irish. It's when I'm on point, when I stay on tact and committed to myself, it truly is my morning. When I wake up and wake up grateful. I try to do the miracle morning where 10 minutes of reading, 10 minutes of all, and go through those and meditation and all that stuff, and it prepares myself. Today I actually met with an agent came in. And she said, "You look stressed. You looked off." And I said, "Well, funny enough, I didn't get blame Bishop. I didn't get my morning ritual in today, and I didn't. I, for whatever reason, woke up late, so I had to hurry around and get here to the office this morning. So I didn't get my ritual in today, and I can feel it. I can feel myself a little off today. So this is not as sharp as I normally is. As hard as that is for you guys to believe, I'm not as sharp as I normally am right now because of that. But it truly is. It's that morning ritual. And you set yourself up with all that and set yourself up for the day.
You're not as sharp. I like it. You're always sharp. Tom, what is your go-to training and mindset? What's your morning ritual look like?
So my morning ritual is, and first I gotta wake up and be grateful that I wake up, right? Because my pacemaker, is still clicking, and my spine stimulator is still stimulating, so that I can start to move and make myself out of there. Then I kick the dogs out of the bed, and basically have a cup of coffee, or actually a Celsius nowadays, my Metamucil bar, and my beef stick.
You might be getting too granular here.
Maybe a little too deep dive into your morning.
We don't need to know what you eat. We're just happy your wife plugged all your equipment in at night. You were fully charged the next day.
But the Blanchards have the only house at the FFA that make the planes fly around. They have 10-mile radius around with all the electronics that are going.
But seriously, I go through. I read the news. I'm always interested in what's happening, because that's going to tell me what I can expect business to be like today, tomorrow, and a week or month after that. So it's pretty easy, but it's really, my morning starts on my drive from home to the office, right? I listen to the full fee agent in my car, and I get a good 30 minutes of that every single day to and from work. And I'm about done with the full fee agent and ready to go back to Ninja training, and I'll listen to that so that I hear it repetitively. And because, look, I remember being in boot camp, we had to learn this way of doing this drill, and they played the steps of how we did this drill every single night. We fell asleep to it and we woke up to it. And I truly believe, even though you're not listening necessarily at level 6 or level 1, I forget which one it is, but it sticks in your mind, right? It sticks in your mind. So it just becomes part of your day.
Yeah. So you're all over the place in the morning. That's good to know. So, Chris,
Literally.
yeah.
Oh,
And that's why we have you drive to the Northwest office from clear out of your house so you can listen to those books.
That's
Tom
right.
was at Camp Lejeune. Actually, he really was, and that's why he glows
Yeah.
in the dark. So a long time ago, I was in this real estate seminar, and they did a study on billionaires, and they looked at their schedule and everything and things that they were doing. And a commonality that came out is many of them were early to work. And there was a book that later came out. I want to say it was Warren Buffett that wrote it, but I don't remember. But it was about 15 minutes. And like he's there 15 minutes before everybody else. He has 15 minutes of time to himself to reflect. He has 15 minutes to make these things happen. And so I've always been kind of, I'm not a morning person. I never have been, but I'm always usually early to the office. And the first thing I do when I get in is I have a business meeting. I have a corporate spreadsheet that has all of my business interests on it, like my bills, my real estate, my leads. I mean, everything's in one place. It's like 15 tabs at the bottom. And every morning I start the day with that. I look over it, I review it, I say what has to happen, where's the progression. I've now added a segment for it about agents and things people I'm talking with and stuff that's going on. But I have that business meeting every morning to put me on task. And then I update my schedule. And so like literally every day, around 7, I do the same exact thing. I block that schedule. I look at the things that are on it and I start marking off where I'm going to spend my time. And I do color coordinate my schedule. I know that sounds funny, but I learned that a long time ago. Green for business, red for have to, yellow for training and skill building. And like, you can see my calendar and it's full of colors. Look at the colors. And so like, I want to make sure that I have money-making activities that are there. And as you evolve in real estate and time, you have multiple ventures. And so I have multiple ventures that I'm spinning plates from. And that extra time in the morning allows me to get more of that done. Like I need to make it an hour, to be honest, but like that has helped me grow tremendously. And I think it's the best thing I've done. I set aside that time.
Yeah, you have the prettiest looking spreadsheets in the industry. I just want you to know that. And I'm not hitting on you.
So
Talking about the spreadsheet. Hey, so Chris, you do a lot of coaching, right? We all do. But you're very successful at it. What role does accountability play in an agent's success? And how can brokers better support that?
Yeah, everyone signs up for coaching for accountability. Like they don't actually sign up for the info. They want someone to hold them accountable to a plan. And what's kind of funny is we all have gotten to this position through different systems, like different ideologies, different learning. I mean, Tom, you were seeing it on cave walls. Keith, I mean, you came through ninja selling. I mean, like all of these were trajectories that we started out in because the people we were around and what happened. And we all know what to do. Like, I don't think there's a real estate agent I've ever met with, unless they're brand new, that's like, well, I don't really know what to do. Like they know what to do. They just want someone to hold them accountable to going out and doing it. And so, but a coach really isn't there just to hold you accountable. They can only hold you accountable to the level of what you let them. Like one of my first conversations with many of my agents is, how accountable do you want to be? Like, are you telling me every day you want me to call you in the morning and say, did you get up? Are you here at work? And then call you every night before you go home and say, what did you do today? I mean, is that the level you want? Or you just want me to look at the report at the end of the week? Like I have to grow them into that process of where they want their accountability position to be. And because they have to decide it's okay. Every agent I've ever seen take off and become a top producer hit a crossroads where they were going to go this way and be extremely successful and do what they need to do, or they were going to stay in the crossroads, or they're going to go the other way and be out of the business. And I think that we've all been that crossroads, and sometimes many times. And it all is about the conversation and the determination that I'm going to make it happen today. Like today is the day I won't forget. I'm going for it. And I think that in coaching, that's usually what it's about. And then every week it's bringing them back to the same road. Like, hey, wait a minute. Well, what are you doing over there? We said we were going to be over here doing this. That's what coaching is all about, you know, and people got a lot of problems. I mean, like I've coached a ton of agents, and a lot of times their life leads into their business. And you're in a business where if you don't show up today, your boss is okay with it because you're your boss. That can't happen in real estate. Like I understand you have issues and you're sick and you're the only thing that you're the commodity you're selling. Show up. you got to be there.
Yeah, I think for coaching to work, somebody has to be committed to being coached or be coachable, and that's not always the case. I think a lot of times people just want that magic wand or the magic fix. Keith, are scripts dead, or are agents just too lazy to internalize them properly?
Scripts are for actors. Al Pacino doesn't even use it as scripts anymore. There's a difference between scripts, and we all know when. I'll ask you guys. Do you know when you get a call from the unknown number or the 725 from Searchlight? Do you know you're going to get launched into with a script? Year and eight.
Yeah. Today I actually I was super nice to telemarketers. Two of them. I even asked them to send me information.
Yeah.
And you know why? Because neither one of them sounded scripted.
Yeah.
Both of them were very conversational.
And you can tell the difference. And so my point being is that you're not fooling anybody. I don't care how practiced you are. I don't care how a script is a script is a script. And so I've always been, look, I know what my questions are. My listing presentation, that's 16 questions. But I'm listening to the answer. And so my scripting is based on what your answer is. The next question is always based on the answer if you listen to the answer. And so I don't know if that answered your question or not, but yes, scripts are dead. Relationships are going to be king.
Good deal.
Let me add to that, because I'm of a different mindset. Scripts are a great way to understand what it is you should be asking and saying and talking about. But we need to add that additional stuff of the full fee agent onto the scripts that you may have internalized. And if you can internalize it and understand what the conversation's supposed to sound like, you'll be fine. But if you're still trying to figure out, how do I say this or say that, looking at your phone or whatever, you screwed up. But yeah, you got to internalize it.
Yeah, and I think you're right, Tom. But it's more of a framework instead of like he said, a script. Scripts are for actors, right? And so, but Tom, you've had an illustrious career. You've done and seen a lot. From being a paramedic to coming out here in this market. What's a coaching moment that changed your career, or one you wish you could give to every new agent?
I went to a Tony Robbins event, and he got me so whipped into a frenzy that I thought I knew everything and could do anything. And I just totally imploded afterwards, because I was nowhere able to do the things I needed to do without having the additional knowledge and coaching that I should have had. Right. I thought I knew it all because I went to one Tony Robbins event and got whipped up into a frenzy and fired everybody, thought I could do everything myself. And I completely imploded because I didn't have the help, knowledge, or guardrails to keep me down the right path.
Okay. How about you, Keith? What's coaching moment, or what do you wish you could share with every new agent getting into the business?
Yeah, there's been so many of those moments that a few of them stick out. But yeah, there's been a ton of moments, and that's energy needs to be up. But the rah is something that I've learned just in branching off of what Tom said. I love Tony Robbins. He's great. But Zig Ziglar. I was a college intern for Northwestern Mutual Life back in college. And I was one of the top in the country. And our prize was we got to spend a weekend on the road with Zig Ziglar. There was us, and there were 4 of us total. And when he was up, we were up. And he's a freak. He's no longer with us, but he's a freak of nature. He'd wake up at 2:00 in the morning. He'd sleep like 20 minutes, 30 minutes at a time. And I'm not talking like Tom and I do. That's doze off narcolepsy, but he would literally go to sleep, and then he'd wake up and he would stay up for 45 minutes all through the night. And one moment he told me, he said, look, the reason I'm not a rah-rah, I'm not a high energy guy, is because it's like a bath. You can get all ginned up. You can sit in the hot bath and get all energized. But sooner or later, you get out, the stick comes back, and you got to get back in the gym. And so that's why rah-rah doesn't work. And so my point has always been, it's got to go back to what is your motivations to yourself and what is your commitment to yourself. And I can't motivate you. I can't rah-rah you. You have to do it yourself. And what's plan B? That's been my big moment is line them, what's your plan B? When I get off track and my coach says, what's your plan B? Plan A, you're screwing it up. What are you going to do now? And I think that goes hand in hand with that.
Yeah. Chris, you've grown up with icons, right?
Yeah.
You had no choice.
All around me.
All around you. You're born into real estate. And so, I mean, you've probably seen a lot. You've seen ups, downs, changes in markets, all kinds of stuff. And from all perspectives, not just an agent, a broker, but also as a kid. I mean, what advice would you give someone getting into this business?
Don't
do it, right?
No, I kid on that. It was a perspective as a kid. I remember one year we had Christmas in July because that was the hot month. Closings came in and we couldn't guarantee December, right? So, I mean, I've been through that and it is a struggle. I mean, like, why do people get into real estate? Because it's a lucrative field that provides a great income, but nothing's guaranteed based on your efforts, right? I will tell you my turning point, and this is something that I'll never forget. It was 2008. My car had just been repossessed. I was literally broke. I had probably a 9-month-old baby, my daughter Madison. I got my wife to support and 2 stepkids to take care of. I'm the primary income earner. My wife, thank God, has a job and she's working as well. And like, I'm sitting at the computer, and it was an old computer, like with the big boxes. And I'm sitting in a real estate office that I opened with my parents, thinking that was a great idea, 2008. And I'm on Craigslist looking at jobs. And I mean, I'm a sales agent. I've been doing this for 2 or 3 years at this point. I'd had a good level of success. I'd sold more than 20 homes at that point. And I'm on the computer looking, and I realize I'm like, I don't have a college degree because I quit college to sell real estate. I probably wouldn't do great in construction. My hands are really soft. What the hell am I going to do? And I'm looking at these jobs, and I realize that, I'm only going to make $50,000, $60,000 if I'm lucky, and I'm not going to enjoy what I'm doing. I'm not going to have the freedom to do it. And I made a decision that I got to get off my ass and make something happen. And I remember it. Like, my wife is like, how are we going to pay the bills? How are we going to make this happen? I said, I'm going to go out and hold open houses. Like, I'm going to go out there and force myself into the marketplace. And thank God, I had a good support system. Thank God I did have that real estate understanding. I went out there and I held an open house every friggin' day until someone felt pitiful for me and gave me a deal. And I didn't stop. I kept going and going. And when it got better, things opened up and the momentum started. And I always think of that day because that was 2008. This year, I'll celebrate 20 years in real estate. And thank God I didn't give up. I still had struggles. I still had problems. The market's changed. Things have happened. But it was me. I was the problem. There were people that were selling $1 million in houses that year. It wasn't me because my mindset sucked. My problems sucked. I let my life, take it over. But that was my turning point where I said, none of these jobs are going to work and none of these jobs are going to fulfill my goals. I got to get off my ass and do something. And I think that's what we've all seen is there's that turning point for most people. And then once you get off your butt and do something and it starts to be successful, keep doing it. And that's another problem that we struggle with as agents. We stop doing it once it's successful because we get complacent. And
there's got to be a better way.
Yeah.
There's got to be a better way. But
happy this season.
Yeah. I call that the day of disgust, Chris, like where you hit rock bottom and that's where things just change. And it's unfortunate. A lot of us have to get to that point to make that shift. But I'm glad you did, because if you would have gotten that other job with construction, I'd fear for the houses out there. Probably wouldn't be standing very good. But also the real estate industry would not have a great leader like you in it. And one of the things I really, really enjoy with working at Signature here is being able to work with you guys. You guys are true leaders in the industry, not only as brokers at Signature, but also at the associations. We got past presidents here. We've got legislative chairs and vice chairs and all kinds of stuff that we've all kind of been involved in. And we just came through another legislative session here in Nevada. And all four of us played a big part in that. Like we all sat on the legislative management committee. Chris was vice chair of legislative for the state. You guys have been doing this a lot longer than me and been through many more sessions. I mean, what can you tell agents about it and the work and the time and the energy that goes in to protect our industry? Start with you, Keith.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a big one, huh?
Yeah, it's a big one, and you know, there's a lot of time that goes into it, a lot of sacrifice that goes into it, and yes, we ask for it, and we enjoy it, and we put up with it, and but there also comes a part, and this shocker, probably not going to answer your question the way you thought I would or wanted to, but what's going on today in our association is absolutely horrendous. How we're treating our leaders, how we're treating those that are there, yourself included. And I know you didn't even know I was going to say this, but George in particular, that his family's going through what they're going through, and he's going through this. He doesn't, George doesn't need this shit. George is a fairly successful person, and to have to listen to that stuff is crazy to me. And so what's the answer? Yeah, we give a lot to this association to make this better. I wanted my daughter to be able to create a living and a legacy and a career through this. And there are times in the last few weeks when I thought, I don't know. And that pains me. And so not the answer, but I've been doing this for a long time, and I've had, spirited discussions with a lot of people and fights with a lot more, but it's never been as bad. And so I think we all need to step back and say, what are you doing? And stop listening to some of the people out there sitting behind the TMZ truck with more millions of dollars in judgments than most agents produce in a year.
Yeah, that isn't the direction I really wanted this to go, but I mean, it needed to be said for sure. And it's there's a lot of time given to it, and just during the legislative session, the amount of calls and stuff like that were on there on the state level, the legislative meetings coming up to it, the PAC meetings, all that kind of stuff, and that would be a question is why do you do it? Because when it gets ugly like that, it makes it less appealing for people, good people, to do it. And so that's sad. But Chris, bring it back up. Give us some good of volunteering and why the associations are a good thing.
Just one thing. I'm still voting no on most of those things, but I just wanted to put that out there.
It's okay. By the time this comes out,
it's the good and the bad
will be over. We'll already know what happened to the bylaws.
I think the big word is preservation, right? We've all made the commitment that this is our job. We are not doing those other jobs, and this is our income, and we have to preserve that. We'll be able to practice it. And I think, why am I involved in this stuff? Yeah, I mean, like the stuff I've seen is crazy, like crazy, personal, nuts, like life-threatening in some cases. But I'm here participating because I'm preserving an industry that I believe in, that generates my income I support my family with. And, the old saying, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. Well, I'd be too appetizing to be on any menu. So I want to be at that table. And you got to think about it on this call alone. Keith's been legislative chair 3 times. 3 times he stood at the gate and defended the industry and stopped us from not being able to practice. And I think that's why I participate. I saw leaders like that go forward and stand at that gate and say, you're not going to harm real estate. You're not going to take away my clients' rights. You're not going to take their property and do whatever you want with it. And all of you have participated in that process and been there being that defender. And I think that, I've gotten a lot of value out of that, a lot of info and knowledge and learning that I never would have gotten in a class or CE. I made a lot of relationships that I never would have got by just reading it in a book or from a script. This is real life experience. Like I want to share this because it's really funny and it's a good story, but I had a client that just literally wouldn't listen. Like you've had that client, right? And I'm like, you need to price the home right here. Like you're 50 grand higher than it is. No one's showing it. No offers coming in. You got to lower the price. And so this guy sends me a Wall Street Journal article talking about the national real estate market and the fact that prices are going up. And I said, oh, yeah. I said, did you read the whole article? And he goes, of course I did. And I said, who's quoted in it? And he looks down and I'm quoted in it. I'm quoted in the article saying, yeah, prices in some places are high, but you must adjust those prices based on your marketplace. And he goes, oh, okay, let's adjust the price on the house. That never would have happened without my participation. And I use it as a story because it was real experience where it showed that, yes, this is the way it is. And yes, I'm participating. Yes, I'm involved. We all have a ton of those stories where we can. Keith helped write most of the laws we're disrupting. When he was in that part of it. And Tom has been part of this process, ran for office because of that. So when you think about it, what's the old saying that's always been around? If real estate is your profession, politics is your business. There is someone every year trying to put a hand in my pocket. And I work at 100% company at Signature. I'm not letting anyone else put their hand in my pocket. And that's why our leaders are committed to making that happen.
Yeah, it's we fought back some big stuff. I mean, just rent control alone, if that would have went through, the effects it could have had on not just our industry, but just the economy and everything else. Tom, you're a glutton for punishment, right? I mean, you've done it all. You're running for Region 11 vice president. Why?
He can't say that. He can't say that yet.
You can now, can you?
This airs after August 1st, right?
Yeah. Oh, is that the day?
Yeah, that's the day.
I didn't know anything about it before August 1st. This was filmed at August 1st. So anyway, go ahead.
So look, NAR's taken some shots. And I'm always one that believes that I'm not going to just sit on the sidelines and write shit on Facebook, right? That's not the way I do things. I prefer to participate, take the hit, and help make a change. This is important. We have some rebuilding to do. Hopefully there won't be a pandemic where I get shut down completely while it's my year as RVP if I win and if I win. But I expect to be able to help move the needle a little bit forward into a little bit better an area and provide the communication needed at this time that everybody will understand what the heck a realtor is about and why we still are important. How's that for campaign speech?
Yeah,
without chat.
I want to add.
Well, I think you already used chat.
I want to add something about Tom. I think it's funny. Tom's a great example of a member on the sidelines who is upset about something, and he was upset about something. Who instead of going to Facebook and making all these posts and nasty comments, he jumped into involvement. Now he didn't do it the right way in the very beginning. He went up and started legislating for himself. But he's had a sit down and he understood the organization and he came in and participated. And he's made some major industry changes, some of them good, from his involvement. And it wouldn't have happened if he just sat on the sidelines and complained. Nothing would have changed. He just would have been, that siren that no one pays attention to. And I think that that's the thing I stress to everybody, like going through this thing with the bylaws issues in Vegas and going through the things on the national level. I don't think any of the leaders wouldn't pick up the phone and talk to somebody. Like when every phone call I got, I answered and I discussed. I didn't ask you to agree with me. I just asked you to listen to the perspective of the other side of it. And everyone was appreciative of that. But yet a bunch of people just went online and started jumping on the bandwagon of whatever they're told. And that's why we got problems, because no one's really jumping in and participating. I hope in this next election at LVR, we have 50 applicants for the director seat showing that they're discussed and that they want to be involved, because that's how real change will happen.
Yeah, let's hope, right? Yep. And so we've reached the point in the show where you guys get to do a little brown nosing. All right. So I'm going to ask you a question about Signature. What makes Signature different from, yeah, right? You're fired. Turn him off, turn his mic off. Hey, what makes Signature different from your average brokerage? And I ask this to you, not really because I want you to brown nose and give me a false answer or anything like that, but you've all worked at other brokerages, and hell, you even some of you have even owned your own brokerages. What's different over here, or why do you think it is, or do you?
You want me to go first and set the table, or
Sure.
does that scare you?
No, it doesn't scare me because then Chris can clean it up.
HR can clean it up.
Yeah. No, seriously, Brandon, the signature's key and cornerstone is literally you, right? And I don't mean this is a brown nose or anything else. Literally, it is, right? Because you're a great leader that allows us to lead the way we can. You're able to see what best fits each of the people that you have working under you. And you continually make sure that the agents that work for you have what they need. Your coaching program came out of the blue, right? You built that, you saw the need for it, and you provided it to the agents to help facilitate their ability to do what they need to do to be successful. You understand, and Signature understands that success breeds success, and providing people with the tools and the knowledge that they need gives them that ability to be successful.
It's so hard to take Tom serious, isn't it? No, I appreciate that, Tom. I do, and I do generally care, and I know we all do. And we generally care in the agent's success. There's a lot there. Just remember, I never hired you. Chris brought you on.
You said you weren't going to bring that up no more.
Yeah. Now I'm grateful for it. And you know what? Like the reason we've all kind of assembled is because of the board activities and Chris's relationship with each one of us. So that's good. How about you, Keith? I mean, what keeps you coming back to work at Signature?
Yeah, there's, as you all know, there's been moments when I've said, what is the one thing that we do, and what is the one thing that Signature does better than anybody else? And sometimes that's a tough thing to answer from a brokerage, and culture is so overused. You hear that from all the especially now that MLM and Tupperware sales are so foremost in our industry, and in downlines and building it. That's really all it is. I mean, we're dominated by MLM and downlines and building it all. And I think what separates us from them is three little words. The three most important words in a relationship is not "I love you." It's "I hear you." And I don't know how many times I've heard from Brandon and Chris, Tom, and Janet, and everybody that I hear you. That's not to say every time we agree, but I hear you, and let's see what we can do. And I'm going to have a conversation with the agent here shortly about one of these Tupperware companies that's with the bells and whistles, and I'm going to tell them I hear you. I don't know if I can change your mind, but I hear you, and I hope you can come back. So I think that's what separates us, is just we listen. And we've got a path that we feel strongly about, and I love the path we're on. So to that, kudos.
Yep.
Do you want to say anything, Chris, or do you want me to go?
No, I'll go. So the interesting thing is, I didn't leave a company I didn't like with people I didn't like, or because of an issue I had. I kind of felt I reached a ceiling. That the limiting of that belief system of here's as far as you can go in this setup was the issue for me. And the first conversation I had with you, Brandon, I said, don't put limits on my ability. And you said, why would I? And it was like the perfect answer that hit, like, you can go as far as you need to, as far as you want to. I'll push you as far as you can go. And that for me was the tie-in. And that's what I saw here at the company. Is there's never been 1 minute where it was like, don't say that, don't bring that up. No, that won't happen. Let's investigate that further and see where it goes. Like, that is the belief system of this company. If we can make it happen and it's an opportunity, we want to make it happen for the benefit of the agents. And the second reason I'm here is the people. Like, the people that were here at Signature before I got here are incredible people. I would go to events and see them all there participating together, having a great time. You could tell it was a family. You could tell it was a group of people that wanted to hang out together. And not every office is like that. And then what I did is assemble the other people that I wanted to be part of the family. And I'm looking at them here now. And like, there's so many more of them that are here. And so I come every day for the people. Like, I get excited to get up in the morning, to leave my house, to come here to the office, because I know it's going to be great interaction. I know I'm going to have a funny story from Tom, or get to hang out with Keith and discuss things. And the agents that are here in their lives and their stories, that's why I'm here at Signature. That's why I stay here at Signature, because I can't get that anywhere else. I mean, there are great people at other companies. They're doing interesting things in different ways, but like, we have an incredible group of people progressing, and they didn't do it because they got paid. They didn't do it because they got a benefit. They did it because they care about the people. And, you know, why do I participate in the association? Care about the realtors. Like, I see that over and over, and this company resonates that mentality because we all were there participating in that. And I can't say it's because of Brandon. I mean, he's okay. He cares. But I will tell you this. How many times can you pick up the phone and dial the owner and he answers the phone? How many times have you heard an owner answer a telemarketing call and have a full discussion? I mean, this is the type of guy he is. You'll get him anytime you need help. He will go to the nth degree to support you. That's what you want in a company.
I appreciate that. And really what I was going for is it is the agents and the people we get to work with every day. It's refreshing. There's not a lot of drama here about us. I mean, you hear drama in the industry and stuff like that. And anytime you get a group of people, there's a certain level of drama. But overall, it's the agents that you get to see every day that are there to help each other and to pull through. And it's about that excitement of a Conrad walking in that just put a deal together after he had a tougher month. You know, it's about hearing the stories on the accountability calls. It's about coaching the agents and seeing the success. And one of the biggest things I like to do, and we were just on a call yesterday talking about the company picnic. And one of the things I really, really enjoy is that company picnic. And not because it's us and we're all getting together with the agents and stuff like that. It's because the agents bring their families. They bring their kids. They bring their dogs and stuff like that. And that's a point where you can really sit back and look and see the amount of lives that are impacted. You know, yeah, it's a real estate company, right? But it's a place for people, and it's a place for people to grow and stuff like that. And that's what it was kind of created upon. But that to me is the neatest thing is the agents and being able to work with those agents on a regular basis. So with that, we're about to the end here. We'll do something that Chris likes to do on all these things, and it's final thoughts, Jerry Springer style. And I know you guys will be good at this. So who wants to start?
Well, you're already my father. I already left you that message. So
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, final thoughts. I want to send out a plug into another one of our agents, Denise Gubler. I saw her on Facebook. You know, the glee and the just she's a epitome of what we try to do here and surround ourselves with. She's just a joy to be around. And as I laughingly ever tell her, if she ever would listen to me and just get an assistant buyers, she would be $100 million producer. So, but that's the type of person that we like to surround ourselves with, and it brings me joy that. So, shout out to Denise again, my buddy Denise.
Yeah, I love Denise. Tom, you go, but this time don't throw the chair through your window. Just because we say Jerry Springer style doesn't mean you're throwing stuff.
Hey, everybody's got to understand why I have this BS thing, right? Because the window behind me that used to be there is gone, right? So sorry about all that. Oh, that's the wrong one. There we go. Final thoughts. Every morning you have the opportunity to start your day. And if you don't take care of yourself first and then come to work and take care of all the stuff that you need to do to be able to take care of yourself first, you're missing the boat. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's easy. But no matter what it is, you just got to step aside of the feelings and do the work that you need to do to make it. Because one of the biggest lies in real estate, we'll have a little mastermind on August 6th, whenever this plays, is that you're free to do whatever the hell you want. And that is not true, right? This is a job. I don't know who started the fact that, real estate's easy. Anybody can do it. It's not easy. Not everybody can do it, but you can do it if you're willing to put the time, effort, energy that you need to do the job.
You had
It can be shorter than that. You're part of the solution or you're part of the problem, and you get to choose, right? And I think that's the whole thing of what we talked about today. There are going to be issues in real estate. There's going to be changing markets. There's going to be pressure put on from different organizations and issues and things that we go on. And you can either address it with a solution or you can address it with a problem. And I always try to look at things, like, I think the one thing, if they put on my tombstone, Chris was fair. Like, in any instance I'm in, I try to understand where someone's coming from and what the goal is for everybody to win. And I think that in these instances that we talked about today, we've all figured a way through that valley to make that happen. And the mindset's important, your participation's important, and the things you do during the day are important. And there's probably a lot of waste, and then there's probably a lot of activity. And so it's a question of, are you going to create more problems, or are you going to create more solutions? And I think that's what I'll take away from today.
Good deal. I just want you guys to know, like, I hope that everybody that listens to this gets to know you guys a little bit better. I didn't want to get deep into sales tactics, different things like that. I just wanted people to get to know you guys a little bit better. So appreciate you guys playing along, answering questions you didn't have ahead of time. Tom, you couldn't use ChatGPT to prepare. But you guys, I love working with you guys every day. Don't give up on the association. Promise there's better days ahead. And you guys keep being the leaders you are in this industry. I really appreciate you.